Hello and welcome to the Station 7 video. Station 7 is called Definition, Fossils or Frauds. Now this station's a little different than the other ones that you looked at fossils in. In some of the other ones you were identifying what the fossil was or what the environment it lived in. At this particular station you're going to identify the specimen as if it's a fossil or not a fossil. So let's go over those definitions first. So I'm going to show you an object and I'm going to tell you what the object is with a description, and then you're going to classify it in one of these four categories. You're going to say it's a fossil because it's remains of organisms that lived in the past, or you're going to specifically say it's a trace fossil, where it's not part of the organism itself, but it's evidence of something the organism is doing. It's evidence of the organism's activity. Things like footprints, burrows, nests, dung, those things are trace fossils. Now, some things look like fossils, but are not. Like it might look like a plant, but it's not a plant. It might look like a bone, but it's not a bone. So these are things that were created by natural processes, not by living things, but they look like fossils. And then the last category is a non-fossil. So a non-fossil is something that's not a fossil, not a trace fossil. Actually a pseudofossil, something that looks like a fossil, is a type of non-fossils, okay? So I'm going to ask you to classify these objects into one of three categories. You're going to say it's a fossil, which is remains of an actual organism, or it's a trace fossil, which is evidence of something the organism did, or it's a non-fossil, and that includes pseudofossils. All right, so we're going to take a look at each one. So the first one is specimen A, and specimen A is a cast of Archimedes. Archimedes is a bryozoan. That's an animal that lived in the Permian period, and that was right before the dinosaurs. So this is Archimedes, a cast of Archimedes. This is actually just part of it. It's part of a stem that was much longer. So I'm trying to get this so you can see some features, but my camera's not focusing real well. There's the end. There's the other end. Okay. So if you're doing the activity as we go ahead and classify Archimedes. All right, specimen B is a precipitate. Here's what it looks like. This is sandstone. You can see that it has layers, but this is a piece of sandstone, and on the surface of the rock is this feature. So what is that? Looks like it has vines. All right, what that is manganese oxide. So the pattern is manganese oxide, which formed as a chemical precipitate on sandstone. This feature is called a dendrite. A dendrite. All right, classify it. Is it a fossil? Evidence of life. Is it a trace fossil? Evidence of the activity of life? Or is it a non-fossil, including pseudofossils, which look like fossils? All right, specimen C. is a shark's tooth from the Miocene. The Miocene was over 5 million years ago, and here we have 3 shark's teeth. 3 shark's teeth. Let me separate those 2. There. All right. Is this a fossil, evidence of past life? Or is it a trace fossil, evidence of the activity of an organism? Or is it a non-fossil, including pseudofossils, which look like fossils? Go ahead and classify that one. All right, specimen D is a gastrolith from a sauropod dinosaur. Sauropods are the long-necked dinosaurs, the herbivores. They ate rocks to help them digest the plants that they ate. So a gastrolith is a smooth rock. A gastrolith is a smooth rock. It wasn't smooth when the dinosaur ate it, but it became smooth as it was in the digestive system, in the stomach of the sauropod dinosaur, and it helped grind up food during the digestive process. Is a gastrolith, specimen D, a fossil, which is generally part of the organism? Or is it a trace fossil, which is something that provides evidence of something the animal did? Or is it a non-fossil, something that looks like a fossil, but is not connected to life? All right, specimen E is a sample of oolitic limestone. Oolitic limestone contains lots of small spheres cemented together. Oolitic limestone formed by the chemical precipitation of calcite in an ocean environment. So a precipitate forms as a solid comes out of solution, and something catalyzes that process. It's usually a chemical or a temperature change. Oolitic limestone. Is this a fossil? Come on, focus. There, that's better. Is this a fossil? Is this a trace fossil? Or is this a non-fossil? The next one, specimen F. Specimen F is a modern seashell from a species of gastropod that is still living today. A modern seashell, there it is, from a gastropod. It is still living today. Is this a fossil? If it is a fossil, is it a trace fossil? And if it is not a fossil, you are classifying it as a non-fossil. And non-fossils can also be pseudofossils, something that looks like a fossil but is not a fossil. Specimen G is a concretion formed by the precipitation of minerals around something that acted as a catalyst. This is what it looks like. There's a center, it's darker in the center, and it looks like there's striations that extend outward. It is rounded, so this one has been broken, but the entire thing would have been spherical if we had both parts. All right, is this a fossil? Is it a trace fossil? Or is it a non-fossil? Our last object or specimen is a piece of bituminous coal. Bituminous coal is a sedimentary rock that formed from plant remains in a swamp that was compressed and altered into coal. So it was originally plant remains that has been compressed into this rock. Is it a fossil? Evidence of past life. Is it a trace fossil? Evidence of the activity of an organism. Or is it a non-fossil? Something that looks like a fossil could specifically be called a pseudofossil. All right, thank you for watching this video for Station 7, definition, fossils or frauds.